Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're playing For Honor. With the release of Season 9, I wanted to make some guide videos on how to play using certain heroes. I'm by no means an expert at this game, but I do have enough knowledge to make a comprehensive hero guide. This guide will assume that you know the basics of For Honor combat, parrying, guard breaks, chains, etc., and is aiming to help new and existing players learn or improve with a certain character. I'll be covering the hero's moveset, damage values, optimal punishers, and a recommendation for feats and perks in 4v4 game modes, and the first hero is Warden. Warden has 3 chains in his kit. Vanguard's Advance is a 3-hit chain consisting of 2 light attacks and a heavy finisher. The lights can be done in any direction, however a side light that connects confirms a second side light if done from the same direction. The most common variant of this chain will be a double side light into top heavy unblockable finisher. This will most likely be feinted to throw off opponents. You can opt to alternate your light attacks in different directions during the chain for more damage, however it is not guaranteed and you run the risk of being countered. Guardian's Assault is a 2-hit chain of a light attack into a heavy finisher. Warden's Wrath is a 2-hit chain that has a heavy opener and a heavy finisher. Warden's Zone Attack hits your opponent's left guard and is considered a chain starter. It has heavy attack properties, although it cannot execute on a kill. It does 20 damage. By dashing forward and hitting heavy attack, you will perform Valiant Breakthrough. It is a dash attack that has a good amount of range and hits your opponent's top guard. This move is also considered a chain starter and has heavy properties. This also does 20 damage and will execute on a kill. Warden's Sprinting Attack, or Rushing Slash, is an out-of-lock attack that you perform by pressing the heavy button when sprinting towards an enemy. It will hit your opponent's right guard and is considered a chain starter. It cannot execute on a kill. This attack does 15 damage, but between this, the Zone Attack and Valiant Breakthrough, you have 3 directions in which to initiate fights. Warden has some unique properties to some of his attacks. As mentioned earlier, his side light attack can confirm a second side light from the same direction. Total damage is 18. Top light has superior block during startup and can crush and counter-strike opposing top attacks. To do this, simply light attack instead of parrying. Note that this only works on attacks that can be blocked. If a counter connects, the attack becomes unblockable and does 40 damage. If you land a crushing counter-strike, it's considered a chain starter and you can confirm a second top light for a total of 55 damage. As you have probably already seen by now, Warden's top heavy finishers are unblockable. Now for Warden's true power. Warden has a shoulder bash that is incredibly versatile and is paramount to using this character effectively. It is performed by pressing guard break after a dodge or after a light attack. Note that the light attack doesn't have to hit your opponent for you to chain into the bash, but will not work if your attack is blocked, the exception being when your opponent is out of stamina. The bash can be let loose immediately, or you can hold down the guard break to charge the bash. At any point during the charge you can press the feint button to feint the bash. Though the timing is a little strict, you can even fully charge shoulder bash and feint it just as Warden starts moving. An uncharged bash will net you a light attack, preferably the double side light combo, and can link back into your bash mix-up. An uncharged bash will also let you do a zone attack, although outside of gank situations this isn't really worth the extra stamina. A fully charged bash will grant you a top heavy for 40 damage. During the charged bash, Warden will flash white at some point. This means he has hyper armor and cannot be interrupted during the bash. Use this to trade with your opponents. The fully charged bash can wall splat your opponents, and both charged and uncharged variants will ledge opponents. It's also worth noting that if a charge bash puts you out of stamina and you wall splat your opponent, the top heavy is still guaranteed. Feint Warden's Bash to bait your opponent into dodging. You can catch them with a guard break into a side heavy punish. Alternatively, if the hero you're facing has a dodge attack like Orochi for example, you can use your bash to bait them into an attack and then parry them. Now for Warden's Punishers. On a guard break you get a side heavy for 30 damage. The top heavy is too slow and can be blocked. On a heavy parry you can get your double side light for 18 damage, or a zone attack for 20 damage. The zone isn't really recommended outside of a gank situation, due to the extra stamina cost, and the zone won't let you flow back into shoulder bash. A light parry will net you a top heavy attack for 40 damage. Throwing your opponent into a wall gets you a top heavy for 40 damage. If you're too close to the wall however, and your guard isn't already in top, the top heavy can be blocked. So make sure that when you are too close to the wall, your guard is already in top stance before throwing your opponent. When throwing an out of stamina opponent, you want to throw in the direction your guard is in when throwing to the side. So when your guard is left, you throw to the left, and as you throw, you need to tilt your left stick to the bottom left and throw 2 side heavies. If you throw the opposite way, your first heavy will miss. The total damage is 70. When throwing forward, you want to perform Valiant Breakthrough into top heavy unblockable finisher. It's worth noting that if you think this will kill your opponent, you can delay your unblockable finisher to get an execution. This will also work when throwing your opponent to the side. Out of stamina parries work exactly the same, 2 side heavies for 70 damage. On revenge activation, you want to perform your zone attack into top heavy. This will do a total of 78 damage, and when catching your opponent out of lock, the optimal punish is top heavy into side heavy for 80 damage. Next we are going to discuss Warden's feats in 4v4 game modes. His tier 1 feats are as follows: Body Count, Conqueror, and Come at Me. His tier 2 feats are Inspire, Fiat Lux, and Thick Blood. His tier 3 feats are Second Wind, Pugno Mortis, and Takedown. And finally his tier 4 feats are Catapult, Stalwart Banner, and Morale Booster. The setup on screen is my current recommendation for those playing Dominion, although the tier 1 feat can be interchangeable. This is my current recommendation for those playing in Breach. Overall, I would say Warden is a solid hero. With a long sword and never skipping shoulder day at the gym, he's beginner friendly though still a threat in the right hands. Warden has the right tool to pressure opponents, with the variable shoulder bash being as strong as it is. I'd like to thank you all for watching the video, and I hope this guide helped. Comment down below if I've missed anything, and please like and subscribe, and I hope to make more guides in the future. Thanks again. Bye!